Greetings, adventurers. Welcome back to our channel, where we delve into the wondrous world of Dungeons and Dragons. Today, we have something truly exciting to discuss: the highly anticipated Dungeons and Dragons Supplement 1, Greyhawk. Greyhawk is a supplementary rulebook written by Gary Gygax and Robert J. Kuntz for the original edition of the Dungeons and Dragons D&D fantasy role-playing game. It has been called the first and most important supplement to the original D&D rules. Although the name of the book was taken from the home campaign supervised by Gygax and Kuntz based on Gygax's imagined castle Greyhawk and the lands surrounding it, Greyhawk did not give any details of the castle or the campaign world. Instead, it explained the rules that Gygax and Kuntz used in their home campaign and introduced a number of character classes, spells, concepts, and monsters used in all subsequent editions of D&D. Contents. The original rules for Dungeons and Dragons were published by TSR in 1974, but were limited in scope. The character classes and monsters listed were small in number, and for combat rules, players needed to have a copy of Chainmail, a rulebook for miniatures wargames published by Guiding Games in 1971. Over the next 2 years, TSR bolstered the original rules with 5 supplemental books. Greyhawk was the first of these supplements, named after Gary Gygax's home campaign. The 2004 publication 30 Years of Adventure, a celebration of Dungeons and Dragons, suggested that details of Gygax's Greyhawk campaign were published in this booklet. However, Gygax had no plans in 1975 to publish details of the Greyhawk world, since he believed that new players of Dungeons and Dragons would rather create their own worlds than use someone else's. In addition, he did not want to publish all the material he had created for his players. He thought he would be unlikely to recoup a fair investment for the thousands of hours he had spent on it, and since his secrets would be revealed to his players, he would be forced to recreate a new world for them afterward. In fact, the only 2 references to the Greyhawk campaign were an illustration of a large stone head in a dungeon corridor titled The Great Stone Face, Enigma of Greyhawk, and mention of a fountain on the 2nd level of the dungeons that continuously issued an endless number of snakes. Greyhawk instead focused on new game rules that had been developed by Gygax and Kuntz during long hours of home play. The 68-page supplement also introduced new character classes Thief and Paladin, as well as new combat rules, spells, monsters, and treasures. Greyhawk included new rules on weapon damage varying by weapon. The supplement added new treasure and magic items, and new spells, including 7th, 8th, and 9th level spells. The supplement also included a section on monsters, introducing the lizard men, beholders, displacer beasts, blink dogs, carrion crawlers, and many others. Publication history. Greyhawk was already in process at the time of TSR CEO founder Don Kay's death in January 1975, and was published in early March. It was designated Supplement 1 and given a product designation of TSR 2003. Many of the new rules presented in the supplement eventually became standard parts of the D&D game. A second supplement, Blackmore, followed later the same year. Illustrations for the supplement were provided by Greg Bell, who had previously met Gygax while playing wargames, and had already provided some illustrations for the original Dungeons and Dragons box set. Gygax often contacted Bell at the last minute for artwork. As a result, Bell sometimes responded by copying figures from the pages of comic books. His illustration of a sword-wielding warrior on the cover of the Greyhawk supplement is a copy of Dear X the Damned, I.S. Stephen Moroto, from a 1974 issue of Eerie. Judges Guild's Ready Ref Sheets 1977 collected together 20 pages of charts from the original D&D box, Chainmail, and Greyhawk. Material from Greyhawk, along with the original D&D and the Blackmore and Eldritch Wizardry supplements, was revised for J. Eric Holmes' Dungeons & Dragons Basic, set 1977. In 2013, the Greyhawk supplement was reproduced as a premium reprint of the original white box D&D rules. Each booklet features new cover art, but otherwise is a faithful reproduction of the original. Reception. Lawrence Schick, in his 1991 book Heroic Worlds, calls Greyhawk the first and most important supplement to original D&D. Shannon Appelklin, in his 2011 book Designers and Dragons, considers Greyhawk an innovation because at the time supplements were largely unheard of in the wargaming industry. Though games were frequently revised and reprinted, Continually expanding a game was something new. Journalist David Militis Ewart wrote that the supplement helped dungeon masters to learn how to create adventures through examples, bridging the gap between players who learned the game at Gary's table and those who picked it up in a hobby store. Ewart valued that Greyhawk showed that Dungeons & Dragons was meant to be adapted and evolved by the players beyond the original rules to make it most suitable for each individual gaming group. Thank you all for joining us on this journey through the realms of Greyhawk. We hope you found this overview of the Dungeons & Dragons Supplement 1, Greyhawk, informative and inspiring. Before we go, don't forget to roll those dice, take chances, and let your imagination soar. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss any of our Dungeons & Dragons content. Once again, thank you for joining us. Until next time, may your quests be epic, your rolls be crits, and your adventures be legendary. Farewell, adventurers.